while training and watchfulness does a lot to increase workplace safety, it isn't as effective for lone workers. In addition to the everyday hazards all workers encounter, those working alone cannot call out to a coworker for help. The most obvious definition of a lone worker is an individual working by themselves, but there are a few other characteristics. A lone worker is someone without close or direct supervision, cannot be seen or heard, and assistance is not readily available in the event of an emergency. Lone workers could be performing solo field tasks, assigned to an establishment where only one person works on site, working in remote locations or from home, and employees working outside normal business hours like the night shift or working late at the office. In summary, a person can be considered a lone worker if there's a reasonable expectation that a call for assistance will not or cannot be responded to, and the worker's absence may not be noticed for some time. Without direct supervision, lone workers are responsible for their safety. Lone workers must have all the required personal protective equipment, follow all safe work practices, ensure the supervisor or designated check-in employee knows their location and is available to call for assistance, conduct a risk assessment to identify hazards and the protective measures needed, inform the supervisor of any issues or concerns, know what to do in the event of an emergency, and finally, how to handle a hostile or potentially aggressive situation. Supervisors are responsible for ensuring that employees understand the risks associated with their work and that the necessary safety precautions are in place. Supervisors must determine the level of supervision required based on the risk assessment. The higher the risk, the greater the level of supervision. It should not be left to the employee to decide whether they require supervision or assistance. The first step to ensuring a lone worker's safety is to assess the risks. Look at the task itself. Can it be completed safely by one person? Work that exposes employees to additional hazards, like confined spaces or elevated locations, should never be completed alone. Confirm the employee's experience. Have they done this work before? And if so, how long? Are they comfortable with performing the work alone? And are they fit for duty? Check that the worker has no medical conditions making it unsuitable to work alone. Pregnant, disabled, young, and inexperienced workers must be supervised. A fall, exposure to dangerous chemicals, or an assault can have very different consequences if a worker is alone. Look at all the possible risks that could have a detrimental outcome. People on their own are prime targets for physical violence. Many tasks expose workers to potentially hostile individuals, homeless or transient encampments, criminal activity, and wild animals. Locations with little to no cell phone reception can be a dangerous situation. Without a way to call for help, an injured worker could be left stranded. Work that must be completed outside normal business hours have unique hazards like visibility and fatigue. Extra precautions must be taken to ensure workers' safety at night. The next step is to make a plan so that you are prepared for the worst. Before heading to the site, it is important to know how the site will be accessed. Does it require parking and walking to the destination? Is prior badging or training required? Equally important, determine the best evacuation route in the event of an emergency. Lone workers should be trained in first aid and personal protection. Having knowledge of life-saving skills can help a lone worker stay calm in an emergency. Having the right tools, including a communication device, first aid kit, food, water, and other necessary items may save a life. In conjunction with good communication, warning devices can be used to immediately alert emergency responders. A communication plan must be in place to ensure the worker's safety throughout the duration of the task. Making your location and route known is the best way to ensure someone will find you in an emergency. Supervisors and project managers should always know where employees will be working. Check in with a designated employee or supervisor upon arrival, if an unexpected change occurs, and when leaving the site. It is also recommended to have a mid-task check-in. If the designated employee does not hear from the worker by a certain time, something may be wrong. Knowing what to do and who to call when a check-in is missed reduces time wasted scrambling for information. If a check-in is missed, immediately notify a supervisor and human resources. Provide information like the task assigned to the missing worker, their last known location, and when they were expected to arrive home or check in. Awareness and intuition are a key part of preventing incidents or injuries. Be aware of your surroundings. Take note of suspicious people or vehicles. Play the what-if game to think about and be prepared for any situation. Trust your instincts and err on the safe side. If you feel unsafe, leave immediately. Report any issues or concerns to your supervisor and human resources. One of the most common characteristics of confrontational and hostile individuals is that they project their aggression to push your buttons and keep you off balance. By doing so, they create an advantage from which they can exploit your weaknesses. Be polite and courteous as to not prompt an altercation. Keep a healthy distance and avoid engaging in conversation unless you absolutely have to. The less reactive you are to provocations, the more you can use your better judgment to handle the situation. Immediately walk away and look over your shoulder frequently so that the individual knows that they are being watched. Make your way as quickly as you can toward your vehicle with keys in hand, or to a public area where there might be other people. Call 911 immediately. Get out of the situation as quickly as possible. Get in your vehicle and lock the doors or move toward public areas. If you can't get away, use anything you can as a weapon. Your purse, keys, water bottle, anything you may be holding in your hands. Do not be embarrassed to make a scene. Do whatever you can to make noise and attract attention. Yell and scream, throw things, and knock things over. Here are a few quick and easy tips for self-defense. Don't punch, as this can break your fingers. Instead, use your fist like a hammer and come down on the attacker's head or collarbone. Or hit with your palm open using the heel of your hand. Strike at the most vulnerable body parts: the eyes, nose, knees, groin, ears, and throat. Protect your face with your hands and protect your jaw by keeping your mouth closed and your teeth clenched. Kick with your shin or with your foot flat, not with your toes. Use your elbow to hit the attacker in the face, chin, or throat. Poke your thumbs into the attacker's eyes or into the hollow of the attacker's neck, just below the Adam's apple on men. Stomp on the attacker's foot with your heel. If you are small, make yourself smaller by crouching. Avoid facing a larger opponent head-on. Instead, use your size to dodge punches and use your strongest body parts like your elbows, legs, and knees. Use your head as a weapon. To do so, quickly bang your head against their chin or face. This works especially well when the attacker approaches you from behind. If necessary, use your teeth and bite the attacker. This could potentially transmit a disease to you if the attacker has one, but it's worth the risk if it saves your life.